Gee, what did that? Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Yo, the fuse has been lit. It's Wednesday night. Denise and Reg post Dynamite. Come and get your Easter eggs. It's a dub. Middle of the week, it's AEW. Dynamic wrestling and end your night with us. It's a must. It's Dynamite. It might combust. Speak now. We're gonna give you all the recap. Live on YouTube is where you see that. The Cali connection with the feedback.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo and Righteous Reg, and we are live and in the building from my living room, and we are here to chat AEW Revolution. Reg, first and foremost, how are you?
It's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. Live in Denise's humble abode. I've been accepted inside of here. There's no tamales for all you racist people thinking that there's just tamales and things just around in the sky that I could just eat at my Mariah. I looked in the fridge, nothing, you guys. It's me. I'm here in LA, and I'm very excited about it.
Did you really look for tamales in my refrigerator?
I mean, why wouldn't I, Denise? What do you think this is?
What the hell? Like, I didn't. You do realize that tamales are really only for the holidays, right?
I mean, you never know, Denise. You offered. You were like, we got things in the fridge, and that could be one of the things in the fridge.
That is too funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, before we get into AEW Revolution, because this is going to be a big one, everyone. There's going to be a lot to talk about. I do want to go ahead and wish Righteous Reg an early birthday. Tomorrow is Reg's birthday. Reg, how old are you going to turn? Like 500?
Wow. I was like, I hope she doesn't say the age, but instead, here we go. I'm going to turn an age that a lot of people probably watching right now are or older. So there's that. Very excited having a birthday. I've already had an amazing 2 days in Los Angeles, Denise. Going to hang out with my friend Jamanica. Shout out to my friend Jamanica. And then, of course, the show that we're going to talk about. So, yeah, it's been a pretty good couple days so far. I'm excited.
It has. And if you guys are looking at us and like, wow, they look so exhausted.
I'm dead.
That's because Will Washington kept us late. Will Washington, guys, kept us late last night until 2 a.m. You passed 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like dead tired. This morning, I woke up and I was like, I can't do this show, but we were here and we're ready to get into AEW Revolution. Also, thank you so much to everybody showing some love over to Reg. But let's go ahead and dive right into the show. I want to kick things off with our super chats for today. So let's get to it. Here we go. We got our first super chat from Grapple Geekery, who says, Revolution would have been a 6-star show without Jericho and the D-Riders. That said, I'd still say it was a 4.5 to 4 3/4 stars. That is going to be a huge topic that we're probably going to get into first and foremost, because we were all thinking it, and it's been the big topic on social media. So thank you so much to Grapple
Wait, hold
Geekery.
on. This is your fault, Grapple Geekery. I also would like to state, because a couple days ago, I think it was on Grapsity, you were like, not going to look forward to the Chris Jericho match, and they hadn't announced a Chris Jericho match, and we were like, why would you even say that? Why would you put that in the universe? And then they announced a Chris Jericho match. So I want to say this is all your fault, Grapple Geekery. You brought this onto yourself. At least it was a really interesting angle that went down. It's real to some people still, Denise, they say.
What's real to some people?
You didn't see what happened with the Chris Jericho thing?
No, what? I didn't watch the pre-show.
Okay, so in the pre-show, remember they announced the match, Chris Jericho versus Gravity. So they get into the ring, and immediately Chris Jericho hits him with the bat. It's over.
That was it?
Ding,
so they
ding,
didn't
ding,
have
ding,
a match
ding.
or anything? Like,
No
there was
match.
no wrestling?
No. But the learning tree took off Gravity's mask. And so that seems pretty normal, but his mom and sister maybe were in the crowd, and they are crying.
They didn't know.
They didn't know. They're like, this is real. Because, in
in
Mexico, like, it's different. Like, wrestling's like real in Mexico.
He gave up his mask just like that?
Well, they covered him up. But
okay. I thought they didn't show his cool face or anything.
Chris yanked it, and then, like, they covered him up. And so the crowd's like, and the mom's in the crowd going crazy. So it was an intro. You should watch it.
Oh, right now, skip. I already watched everything I needed to watch on Revolution. Grapple Geekery, thank you so much for getting the party started for us.
Thanks,
we got John Taylor here who says, Monday morning with the Cali Connection, got my coffee ready, and I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm currently ignoring work to hang out with the DWO. Thank you so much for everybody being here.
Listen,
right
John,
now.
you can't be, it's Monday morning. Like, anytime you can ignore work, I think like this would be the time, like first thing of the week. But, I'm with you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
We also got Sheldon Jackson here. Thank you so much for gifting 5 DWO memberships. We got John Taylor who says, when Christian cashed in, the combined age of the 3 wrestlers in the main event of Revolution was 141 years.
Oh,
Hated the main event. Absolutely love the rest of the pay-per-view. Cali Connection, let's effing go. I think we recognize the theme for today, Reg, of what people overall thought about this.
I thought you were going to say about the age. I was like, damn, you already talked about me being, how many, you said 500 years old, and now they're talking about ages here.
Combined
That's crazy.
Here right now, me and you, Reg, it's 521 years. 521 years.
Good bit, Denise. You're only 21. Really funny. Really funny.
All right, we got John Taylor here who says Denise's alarm going off this morning, and she's like, I immediately regret scheduling the review for 9 a.m. the day after daylight savings time.
Yo,
and
word for word, I think that's exactly what she said when I saw her this morning. So
Arnold Nicholson Jr. says, looks like Denise just woke up and great show. Oh my God. I do not appreciate being called out like this.
She did just wake up, though,
Like an hour ago, I ate breakfast and everything. All right, we got D. Lara here who says, glad to have met both of you last night. Great vibes. It was a great pay-per-view and a fun evening. Happy early birthday, Reg. Forgot to tell you last night. Thank you so much. It was good meeting you, D. Lara. We met quite a few people. It was
meeting
very cool.
you. Yesterday was like, there's humbling experiences, but like when you go to a wrestling show in a gigantic place like LA, and there's multiple people coming up to take pictures and saying, great work. They love the work that I do. It's humbling, and I love you guys. You guys are great. Amazing to meet you, D. Lara, yesterday. Appreciate everything. Thank y'all.
We got John Taylor here who says, happy early birthday to my fave podcaster, my fave rapper, my fave Emma MILF Hunter, Righteous Reg. And we got Margie Love here who says, OMG, Kelly Connection together in real life. Great to see you two together. What a show. Happy birthday, Reg. Thank you, Margie. We got Hamburger Helper here who says, saw you guys, wanted to say hi, but you were far. Oh, next time, hopefully we get a chance to. Thank you, Hamburger Helper. We also got Arnold Nicholson Jr. who says, Toni and Mariah had a great match last night. Yes, they did. So with that being said, let's get into the show.
Yes.
So I think for the most part, we already got several people basically saying it was an amazing show, but a terrible main event. Now, where do I even begin? I think we have to begin with that. Right?
Yeah, I think we should just start
there. That's
there.
the big elephant in the room.
It's huge.
I want to start off by saying that I thought Revolution was so much fun. There were multiple matches that were really good. There was 2 matches in particular based off of what I saw on social media and based off of my own feelings that I thought could easily be match of the night. Those 2 matches were Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, Mariah May, and Toni Storm. Those are the top 2, Reg, that when I asked people on Twitter what was match of the night, everybody like back to back, I was seeing those options.
Same matches.
With that being said, Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, and we'll spend more time on this match when we get to it, but it was such an incredible performance. The Spanish fly that Will Ospreay did off the top of the cage, Reg, I have never prayed in a moment like I did during that. Whatever, we'll talk more about that in a second. But to have such a great match and a great moment followed by the main event with Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley, with this eventually turning into a triple threat with Christian Cage. Bless their hearts, Reg, because that was one of the weakest main events I've ever seen. And I was thinking every time we have a really great match, I always feel really bad for the next matchup, right?
Yeah.
But this was the main event.
Yeah.
You need to go in there, and you need to go in there with I'm going to do the very best mentality. And of course, I don't want to speak for them, But that main event was so bad, so dull, that I felt like embarrassed that was the main event. I legitimately felt like, wow, like I'm sitting there and I'm looking around, Reg, and I felt like everyone in the building was thinking that exact same thing. I was looking at people on their phones. I was looking at people have conversations like this face to face instead of looking at the ring. I saw people like eating their food, like no one was interested in this match. And then to top it all off, they worked the match so slow.
It was slow
until
motion.
we finally got to the Christian Cage stuff, which obviously people are going to react to that because it's like a cash in and we had been waiting forever, and AEW's
they don't care about this match, so they want something interesting to happen. They needed something.
I saw the worst DDT of my life. I hate to say this, but it was the worst DDT ever. I could not believe it.
You said that you were embarrassed at points. That was at that point when that DDT happened, I audibly groaned and I was embarrassed as a wrestling fan. And that's pretty tough to do in this climate. As the match was going on, shout out to my friend Alex, shout out to my friend Jess. I was more interested in what they were doing and had going on. Like, hey, how have you guys been? Because the match was like, after that Spanish fly off the cage, Denise, I was like, whoo, it's going to be tough for those guys coming up after this. Like, you just knew, like, oh my God, like, I want to know, Denise, are these wrestlers, I don't know if self-aware is the word, but like, are Moxley and Cope watching what's happening throughout the night? Thinking,
scared.
We gotta follow this.
Scared to follow
like
Kyle
you go
and
up to Kyle and Will and be like, "What are you guys about to do?" And they're like, "This is what we're about to do." You're like, "Oh, what?"
I would have been like, "Bye, I'm going home." But I think they thought, and like I'm assuming that they probably felt that the Christian cash-in was going to be like the big saving ooh la la moment. And yes, it did get a reaction. But it wasn't like the kind of reaction that you got during Toni Storm and Mariah May, Swerve and Ricochet, Kenny Omega and Takeshita. It wasn't that kind of reaction. And I think that was the part that was just like really, really tough to watch. And I feel bad because I never want to like say, oh, this was bad because, people are going out there and they're putting their bodies on the line. But this was just completely it was not a good choice to put this as the main event. And here's the thing though. So I believe Tony Khan was asked about this on the press conference. I was not there. And I just read like the bullet points and whatnot. And I think he said like, there could have been 4 to 5 matches that main evented. And in hindsight,
there was 4 or 5 main events on this show for sure.
He said in hindsight, it's easier to say, oh, this match should have main evented. This match should have main evented. But here's the thing. All of the fans going into the show, Reg, were saying, oh my God, Toni and Mariah should be the main event.
Everybody.
And I remember even thinking, it should be Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah.
So like we all had a different version of what we thought the main event could be because nobody had any expectations on the main event. And everything that we believed ended up happening.
It's unfortunate. I think that's the worst part is like they were depending on the Christian cash-in, but we've hated it for months. There was no saving it. So it was like people were excited in the crowd for sure when Christian came out because he came out at a good time. And I think we want this to be done. So it's like, okay, Christian's here. He's going to cash this thing in and we can move forward. So that was a good part of this unfortunate situation is now moving forward. We could forget about this, but people were so down on the main event. It's unfortunate, Denise, because I've seen people I've been reading Twitter and Blue Sky, Reddit. People are saying this is an all-time show, one of the best AEW shows of all time. People are saying the best AEW shows of all time, if not very close. But the reason that it's not number one across the board is because of the main event. And so I felt sad because the fans wanted to so bad, Denise. Like in the crowd with the entrances, like Cope's music hit, and you can see there's a viral video of people singing the song, excited about it, so stoked. Like this is a great time. Mox comes out, people are going ham. Like I'm like, okay, this is a thing. And then the match started, and
So to put into perspective, because I don't want everyone to think that we're going crazy here, I'm going to read you guys, and I don't normally look at this stuff, but I feel like this is just very, very telling. So the cage match ratings here for AEW Revolution on the matches. Adam Page, MJF, 8.26. Mercedes Moné, Momo, 7.49.
Should be higher.
Swerve Strickland, Ricochet, 8.75.
Fire.
Okada, Brody King, 7.01. The tag team match, 4.99. Toni Storm, Mariah May, 9.5. Kenny Omega, Konosuke Takeshita, 9. Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, 9.53.
You're hearing these
the
numbers.
Main event,
big numbers.
Jon Moxley, Christian Cage, Adam Copeland, 3.27.
3. Like, that's killing the average of what AEW main events
AEW
are.
Revolution,
Killing
I think the overall rating is 8.886.
Because of that.
Had that match gone up, like had it been a 6 or a 7, like, bro, we would have been talking about like a really, really high rating for the show.
How could you? But there's no way they didn't know, Denise. Like, there's no way that they looked at this card, they analyzed everything, and were like, this main event will be fine. It'll be okay. Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher are going to destroy each other. Kenny and Takeshita are going to go bar for bar, but it'll be fine after all that.
Yeah, I think this match would have been far better somewhere in the middle of the show. And they could have still done everything they did.
They might have should have started the show with it, honestly.
No, because you needed to have the number one contender.
The Swerve thing.
Swerve and Ricochet.
He saved it. Who's surprised?
Very, very cool, by the way. Swerve and so basically afterwards, after the cash-in and everything. By the way, here's the one thing that I did. I'm going to put one pro on this match.
Yes.
Here's the one pro.
I like it.
We no longer have to worry about Christian Cage.
Never again.
With that cash-in thing, contract.
Never again.
It's over.
It's over.
And on the bright side, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, I think for the most part, we all have our theories. This could possibly lead to, they're going to tell a whole story, but this is going to lead to something, I imagine that would be something the fans might care about a little bit more.
With these two guys, there's only one reason, really, that we wanted you here, Cope. There was a couple of reasons. We wanted you to have some big matches, but the real thing was like, hey, Christian's here. You guys are both not retired anymore in the same company. You used to be this tag team that a bunch of people like. The Young Bucks are here. FTR's here. Do the damn tag team. Why are you guys doing this to us?
Young Bucks versus Edge and Christian?
What?
I feel like
$1 million.
That's the match people want to see because it's like, Edge and Christian growing up was one of my family, and I liked the Hardy Boys a little bit more, but whatever. They were like number 2, right? It was the Hardy Boys and then Edge and Christian for me, right?
Well, it was Hardy Boys, Dudleys, and then Edge and Christian, but that's beyond what needs to be said right now.
But the point is that they are like a legitimately top tag team in wrestling and are legitimately very, very cool, or, all of that. And the Young Bucks, look at everything that they've done in their careers. And so you have like this new modern It tag team versus the old It tag team, and that's what we want to see. But I don't know. I hope that they know that. They know that, right? Like they
totally know that. And I think with the main event, that's the most glaring thing about it is like Cope needs a tag team. I think like a big part of the main event is Cope's up there and he was slow. Like Jon Moxley had to slow down for him, and Jon Moxley's already slow. So it's like we're going double slows. Like if you have a Christian to tag out to, then we're changing. You don't have to work this whole match. I think like seeing him in that main event and seeing what happened, I was like, okay, we probably shouldn't see him in singles main events anymore.
No, I feel that. So that is the bright side. At least we can hope for Edge and Christian reunion. The Christian contract is out of the way. Question marks around what's going to happen with the patriarchy. We'll see what happens there. But
we do got to give it up to the Swerve thing.
Yes,
I think
the other thing
that was the saving grace. Like as the fans are walking out, essentially when the Christian thing happened. Also, before we get to that, the Christian got done so dirty. Denise, he sold it. Like this cash-in's been since what? He's had this contract for months. Since August. He's
he wanted it all in, right?
Wanted it all in. Been telling all these stories, doing all these things, saying about the contract, having all these crazy moments, having all this TV time. He comes out here and thought he was having a great time. And Mox ends up beating him, Denise. After having a 30-plus minute match with Edge or Cope, he still ends up tapping out Christian, the fresh guy. Imagine Christian, who thought after I get this contract, I'm going to be world champion. And they're like, actually, this is going to be dumb. All of this is going to be not worth it. How could you feel as Christian?
I mean, if I were a Christian right now, I would feel like a goof, which is unfortunate. You would feel that way. I love Christian. I think he's very, very talented.
Like I might go yell at somebody.
So
what you guys do to me?
The I'm your father, I'm your dad character was very, very over for a certain period of time. And it still is. Like if they leaned into it a little bit more, we would definitely still pop for all of that stuff, right? But yeah, I think it was very, very clear that this was not a good idea to do in the first place.
Ooh.
The contract should have never been a thing.
Never.
Ever. It did not belong in the AEW universe. You know, I don't have another word. Sorry.
So funny and ironic, maybe, that like on Grapsody, Will Washington used to fight so hard about how his least favorite concept in wrestling was the money in the bank. Like he used to say all the time, I hate the money in the bank as a concept. I hate that the person could cash in without doing a match and just come in at any moment. And all this happened while he worked there. It's like funny, like it does nothing to do with him. It's just kind of like ironic that like he hates this so much and
Reg
he has to watch it. I'm like, dude, that's so good. That is so good. He's like, I hate this so much, and it's just happening in front of his eyes. It's amazing.
Reg said this, not me.
Love you, brother.
I'm out of the camera shot right now. All right. So with that being said, the contract, it's out of the way. But okay, so the ending, we haven't even got into that.
Yeah.
So Jon Moxley is confronted by Prince Nana. And then I was thinking Spider-Man, because when I saw Swerve at the top, and I saw him from like, I was on the opposite side of the arena, so I just see like the red pants.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's Swerve?
Because you're blind.
Right, exactly. And so I see Swerve like set up like that, like crouched down, literally like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Waiting.
You look like a superhero.
I was wondering, is he going to jump, or is he just going to like stare him down? But no, he did jump and take out Jon Moxley at the end of that. And here's the thing, guys. I think everybody coming off of that is expecting Swerve Strickland to win. I fear he's not, by the way. I fear he's not. And I think people are expecting Swerve to get this win. I think he should, given what went down with that main event.
We talk a lot about pivoting. Like, I feel like...
Insert Ross. Pivot.
I feel like at this moment, I would say, like, before Swerve came out, I was like, Jon Moxley's going to have this title until a dumb amount of time. Swerve came out, and like I said, everybody was walking out. We were like, all right, the show's over. I look over, not even on the Trons or anything, and I see him, and I'm like, damn, this is crazy. And so, like, as the crowd notices he's there and he hits the stomp, they start going insane. People are going crazy. It's ravaged, like, it's wild. Like, Swerve felt like we continue to say this, the main character of AEW. Like, people were like, this is the guy. We want him to win. He's the one. And so I go online and everyone's like, Swerve better win. There's like, you have to. And like, you hear that, and we'll talk about his match and things that went down. You see the responses to Swerve. You're like, he should beat Jon Moxley 1000% without question at Dynasty. But I don't know if he will.
I don't know either. And I felt like coming out of that, I was expecting for Swerve to, like, that's the intention. The intention that they gave me, or like the impression that they gave me, was that they intend on having Swerve win.
Yes.
Based off of that ending.
How it looked. Like, it's like, that's the star.
Cool. Yes, that's what it was. But we got a couple more super chats in here. Thank you so much to everybody who's giving us some love. John Taylor says, it felt like the crowd was more into the show than previous LA crowds. Did you guys feel the same way in person? I couldn't believe it. You guys know every week we talk about this.
We're
trash. Ashamed of our West Coast crowd.
Yeah.
Now I might just have to blame Las Vegas.
I'm saying that. I was nervous going into the show, Denise, because I was like, Denise and I have talked some trash on our show about West Coast crowds. And so we get to the show, And like off rip, it's like, oh no, this is different. And like the energy was amazing all throughout. We were in it in different sections, just like experiencing it. And I was like thinking about it, I was like, okay, now that I think about it, I think all those bad crowds were at Double or Nothing in Vegas. Maybe this is in Los Angeles and maybe we're lit over here. So shout out to California, John Taylor. There was a big difference. Like even beyond that, like I think that was probably the best LA crowd that I've ever been in at a wrestling show. So it was just something different about it.
For a fact. And also I do want to say that like the building inside like Staples Center, oh my God, that was the best AEW's ever looked.
So good.
They look super cool running at Staples and having like just the setup. It was so nice.
Perfect.
Completely full, by the way. Like it looked super full.
It was lit.
I don't know how many tickets are sold or
like
what the situation.
11,000 something.
I have no idea, but like basically what I want to say is sometimes I can tell when I go to shows where I'm like, ooh, this did not do
there are not a lot of people here.
Or hey, this whole section is blacked out. I didn't see any of that last night. And I thought to myself, damn, a lot of people were saying, shit, AEW's dying, AEW this, AEW that, right? And I was starting to get worried because I'm like, I need AEW to succeed. You know, we have a Wednesday show. Exactly. And when I went in there and I saw everybody in the building and I saw how people were acting, I'm like, oh, thank God, we're still in business. Here we go.
It's nervous.
I kind of felt like reassured after last night's show that there is still a lot of potential for AEW to just like regain some buzz. So if any of you fans out there were starting to get a little nervous, it was definitely lit last night in the building.
I think the best part about it, Denise, is the people are excited for the AEW, like the people that are going to be the future of this. That's who the crowd was most excited for. So it's like, it's going to get better. Like there might be times, rough terrain, but like when it comes to the show, AEW's about to bring it.
We got Corey MacArthur here. Thank you so much, Corey. He says, wow, watching the show while working. No bangs for Denise, a.k.a. Lisa Fatu, and happy pre-birthday to the dopest rapper, Righteous Reg. I didn't have time to do the bangs today, okay? I ran out of time.
I thought the bangs are just there all the time.
No, they need to be finessed.
You got to bang the bang? Yes. That's crazy.
Like, look, if I did it right now, look how bad they look.
Oh, okay. That happened pretty fast. You guys see that transformation? That here on camera. Bam, bam, bam. Bangs, bangs, bangs.
That looks better with or without right
bangs,
now.
Bangs, bangs, bangs. That happened so fast. I'm impressed.
What do we think? Should I leave the bangs?
Yeah, leave the bangs. Leave the bangs.
Are you saying my face is too ugly? Leave the
bangs. Somebody was already like, you look sleepy. So like, maybe the bangs will help.
I just have small eyes.
You look tired. Huh?
I have little beady eyes.
Who just woke up?
We got, let me see here. Ben Fossey, who says, I love the show, but the main event let me down a little bit. My favorite match was the steel cage, Mariah May and Toni Storm. Brilliant story told. Whew. Ben Fossey, you, me, Reg, and literally everybody kind of felt like the same way.
It's every single person, Denise. There hasn't been one person that I've seen that's like, actually, the main event was great. Like everybody's like, great show, but that main event was a stinker. There's definitely
someone out there.
There's Copeland Mox fans that was like, that was heat, but like,
trust me, they're out there and they're gonna find us. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ben. We got Anthony Cruz that says Hollywood ending should have been last. I can't wait to get into that.
Definitely after seeing it.
We got John Taylor who says, had the Toni Mariah match main evented, this would have been the greatest AEW pay-per-view of all time, in my opinion.
That would have been a sick ending, a Hollywood ending. Come on, you guys.
I think my show in AEW Revolution ended differently in my mind. After Will Ospreay won,
it was over.
At the
we should all just left.
Everything else just went black. Done.
I mean, I can't talk about what you were.
Shut up, Reg. Shut up, Reg.
Can we mention it on the show?
No, we cannot.
I'm mentioning it on the show. At one point, you guys, Jay White came out. He was in this match. You guys saw it. And so afterwards, I'm talking about it with Denise. I'm all, yeah. And Jay White came out. She was all, Jay White wasn't on the show. I was all, dude, he was on the show. He came out.
I said, Reg, no, you're crazy. Jay White was not on the show.
And I was like, what were you doing, dude? Like, that's how out of this match Denise Salcedo was. She didn't even know the floor was up.
I did see Wheeler Yuta.
Like this, I think that's what it was. Denise hates Wheeler. So when Wheeler Yuta came out, she was just like, I'm done.
I'm sorry. The main event started so slow. People were like talking to me.
She didn't even know Jay White was there, you guys. And Jay White's on top. That's her guy. Like, that's how out of it she was.
I love Jay White.
He's amazing.
Didn't
see him.
Yeah, because like we were talking.
What were you doing? I still don't know.
Oh my gosh, people talk to me during the shows sometimes. So like I'll turn around and I'll talk.
I'll turn around.
You have to be like rude.
What are you like? All the like, hey, who's back there?
I was gonna say sometimes people just
She starts surveying the room. Hey, do you have a question? Like, I don't think this is Q&A time, Denise. There's a match happening.
Yeah, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I apologize. There's a lot of distractions. It's not the same. Like, that's the thing. When you're at home watching wrestling, it's just you and the TV.
Locked in.
You're locked in,
Yeah.
all right?
It's different than our watch-alongs. We're just
in.
like, we're watching this
When
show.
you're at the show, there is, people, and there's
People
things
will legit
happening,
yell out at you, hey, Denise.
and there's people walking by, and I'm like, who's that? And then it's like, oh, I gotta post my video up on TikTok. I gotta post my video up on Instagram.
I forget you are working too.
So I am also like putting videos out and things like that. There was actually another really big thing that happened on the show that I missed.
What?
And it wasn't big as in like wrestling, because I pay
Missed
attention to
something.
the matches I want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But this was actually about the actress.
Oh, whoa.
That
Let's
went
talk about it.
viral.
That's
We
hilarious.
have to talk about it. I don't know her name. I did interview her on Thursday. She's a very, very lovely girl. And I'm
Whoopsie.
100% sure she did not mean no harm.
Mm-hmm.
However, in this business, that's a no-no, like a big time no-no, the most no-no ever. So I don't know her name, but she went viral. If you're online, you've probably seen it. They did a little ringside interview with the Queen of the Ring cast. And I saw it on the screen, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to pay attention to my phone. So I'm looking on my phone. I'm doing whatever the fuck I'm doing. Whatever, show ends. And we go get Smash Burger afterwards. And Reg, you start talking about it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What girl?
Yeah, I was like, something crazy happened on the show. We missed it.
And then turns out this girl accidentally said, and I'm probably phrasing it wrong, but she had said that the wrestlers know who the winners are going to be
before anybody
Right.
else does. Yeah.
Apparently, what she was trying to say is that everybody.
We're shooting her bell already. We're just like, actually, this is what she was trying to say. Off rip.
What she was trying to say was that everybody on the show were winners.
Yeah.
But it came out completely
It came out wrong.
And she
killed
accidentally
kayfabe. Like kayfabe
exposed the
died on.
business.
She said, essentially, you guys know what's going to happen before anybody else does. Thanks for teaching me that. And you're like, I don't think you're supposed to say that on a national pay-per-view that we're watching. And a lot of us really care about this, lady.
After Will Ospreay nearly killed
After some fools died, and she was like, they knew who was going to win, though.
When I saw the clip, my jaw dropped. Like, I had no words. There was no bruh big enough, long enough for me to caption. And I actually felt bad, and I didn't like blast it out on social media. It's already out there. I don't want to add more eyeballs to it, even though it already is.
That's how I feel too. Like, I don't want people to see, as a wrestling connoisseur, somebody who loves pro wrestling, I don't want people to hear that. I don't want to need more people to see that, because I've seen this business is still protected. I've been in some wrestling locker rooms where people didn't protect kayfabe, and it didn't end up well for them. So she's kind of on the outside of the business looking in. So with nothing, she doesn't really have any repercussions, but like, it's a no-no, huge no-no, like Denise said.
Yeah, it's just like, we all know as wrestling fans, it was just a moment. All right, I'm still a little behind on Super Chat, so let me get caught up here. We got Luis Arturo Mendez who says, good afternoon, DWO, just eating lunch while watching the show. Thank you so much, Luis. We got Margie Loves here who says, both covered in blood, Toni draped over Mariah with the ends floating over them. How is that not your main event after a 2-year build and in LA? By the way, that was one of the questions I had last night. Have we ever had a women's main event for a pay-per-view in AEW? Someone here, I know Sheldon Jackson's out there. Please let us know in the comments, because I was thinking about this, and this would have been the night. Yeah,
I think the biggest one was just the Toni and Mariah one at Grand Slam, but that's a TV main event at this point. I don't think there's ever been an AEW main event pay-per-view where the big show.
No. Yeah, I was wondering, because I think I had confused some of the like higher profile.
They've had some high profile TV matches.
Right. And in my mind, I'm like, it's all a blur at this point. But no, that was one of the things.
This was the time.
This is one of the things where we do have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
We always say, if the story is hot enough, that should be the main event, right? Yeah. And I also get the argument of it's the AEW World Championship.
I love that argument.
1000% get that, because I also agree with that.
I'm with it.
I think, and I feel that's why they did give this the main event at AEW Grand Slam
Yeah.
Australia. And that's why I knew this
because they
wasn't going to main
knew it.
event.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, it already main evented there, so I know it's not going to main event Revolution.
Yeah.
But I do think in hindsight,
we should have had 2. This should have been the main. There was just way too many people saying this should be the main event going into the show. I was talking to people during the show that were like, this should be the main event. It was just across the board.
What's scary is that if Toni Storm and Mariah were not the ones to main event an AEW pay-per-view, after the story that they have told, after the fan base that they have gained through it, the amount of social media interactions they're posting, tweets,
Don't say it.
Who is ever going to get that spot? I mean, I'm thinking Mercedes will eventually do it, but if it's not a hot enough story, it's not going. There's going to be the argument of like,
how hot do you have to be? Is the thing. I've seen people online saying this is the greatest story in AEW history, not just women, all across the board. This is the greatest story. Toni and Mariah, they've told the best thing. They've done it. If you can't get the main event off of this, how could you ever?
And it's Women's History Month.
Oh, damn it.
But on the bright side, do you know, I feel like as a woman, to go away at the end of the night knowing that it's my match versus the match that one of the greatest pro wrestlers ever, Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, and that people are saying their favorite match is either mine or theirs.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
The proudness that I would feel, like my chin would be so high.
Denise, people are saying this is the greatest pay-per-view of all time. Like, imagine having that honor. Like, oh, people are saying this is the best pay-per-view of all time, and they're saying my match is the best match. That's insane.
I just hope that this is an eye-opener for everybody in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That when women are allowed to tell the stories, when we are given the proper time, the everything, there could be a lot of magic made.
That's a fact.
A lot of buzz. And what do you guys want for your promotions? Buzz.
Buzz.
That's all we want.
And it's so funny. Like, this was the most time they should have ever did it. There's a movie that just came out that Toni Storm is in. They had to
they're in Hollywood.
They're in Hollywood, you guys. You couldn't write a better script. Pun intended, dog. What the hell are y'all doing?
All right, and since we're on the topic already, let's talk about that match. Toni Storm and Mariah May, baby. Oh my God. So I had seen when they were setting up the stage that they had like the champagne bottles and the posters and all of these things. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to get a really good view here. This was just so brutal. Oh my God, Toni Storm, the way she bled, I've never seen that kind of bleeding on a woman before.
Oh my God.
And there was a moment where they had a camera shot on her and you could literally see, it was like if someone pressed a button and she just went.
When she was like on the ring steps and she like, you could see on her face being like, oh shit, this is a lot of blood. I was like, yo, that's a lot of blood. Like, it was gushing all over her. It was crazy.
It was massive. And there were so many freaking cool moments in this. Luther being thrown into the champagne table.
Hilarious.
Mariah, was it Mariah or Toni who threw off the stage? Right early. I think it was Toni to Mariah, I think.
Mariah, yeah, Toni to Mariah.
The spot off the stage, going back and then going into the ring, and they had literally so many freaking weapons. I mean, they did the tape.
Turn into a Taipei death match with the broken glass over the tape. Yeah.
Everything. I mean, this was just the steel step spot.
She hit a champagne bottle on Tony's cooch. I think this may be the word for it. Like, this was violent. Like, they got the glass out like people do thumbtack spots, and they're doing spots on that. Both of them, eventually Mariah's bloody too. So it's just two bloody people. Just that moment right there where they both have the fists taped up and they're swinging at each other. And then she eventually makes the connection, and you could just feel like it just felt nasty in the building. These women were out for blood, as you could see, and they were trying to really put the final stamp on it. And there were so many spots that could have ended the match. Like, I bet on a couple of moments where I was like, oh, Mariah might do this, you guys.
Yes,
maybe we were wrong.
Yes.
But we were not wrong. I think like Toni Storm was not losing this match, Denise. Like, she came in with so much momentum. She came in with so much fanfare. Like the crowd was
Great
so
reaction for
hot
Toni.
for when her theme hit. People were like going crazy. And then they go out there and they have this like generational, life-changing style match. And shout out to AEW women for any time they get a street fight, it's just the women's match. Like they just like they like just call it a street fight and it's going to be the craziest shit you ever seen.
One of the things I have said in the past on our AEW show is that my favorite version of Mariah May is when she gets violent, when she gets
Oh, they brought out the
mean.
shoe too.
Oh my God, when they revealed the shoe, you know
shoe.
what this reminded me? Like the most edgiest Cinderella ever. Like Cinderella was like, damn girl, you own the shoe now. That was just, it was magnificent.
Yeah.
And what I loved most about it was that right now we are having the conversation of they fucking killed it. They should have been the main event.
Destroyed
they were amazing. What a way to end a feud. You know, I had interviewed Mariah and she even said, oh, I want Toni Storm to die.
Dude.
And at first I thought, oh, maybe she just really used strong words. After the performance, I'm like, yo, she really wanted her to die. Right. And I thought that's amazing because I would have never thought that they were going to go all out. But what I love about this is that people are having this conversation, talking about how great it was, because there have been other times in AEW history where the women have gotten violent. And what has been the conversation on social media? It's been like, oh, well, are women doing this? Like, should they be getting that violent?
It's too much. Why are they bloody? Yeah.
Right. And we are not, at least that I know of, not having that conversation.
No.
Instead, people are saying, wow, that was incredible. Wow, that was amazing. And so already either they just did a hell of a job, or we're starting to see people accept this as more of a norm, because again, it's not every day you see women in, you know, American wrestling and the top promotions get this kind of violence and this kind of blood and this kind of mean and nasty. And it's done so freaking well. When I was watching this, I just thought, hell freaking because for the longest time, you're only really used to seeing the men do it like that.
Totally. There's two specific moments where I was like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen. That overhead shot, Denise, of that you posted.
Oh my God. I posted
Toni's
it on Twitter.
bloody. She's dead. It's carnage around here. That shit, when they showed it on the screen, I was like, this is insane. Like, this is like I said, a generational style performance. And the shot that I think most people have been showing at the end, they do the, there it is. Just like,
there it is.
Just like that shot and the carnage and what's going on. But I think better than that is at the end, Toni hits her with the pile driver. They're on stage. There's another overhead shot of both of them dead. There's the table. It's the final Hollywood ending. I was like, if the show would have ended like that, Denise,
credits with the end.
If we would have been walking out with the fucking end credits, Denise, imagine how different this topic today would be.
1000%. And by the way, that tweet that I posted of that visual we're talking about with Toni laid out there with the glass and thumbtacks and God knows what else. This has nearly 1,000 retweets.
Crazy.
11,000 likes. 500,000 views, nearly 1,000 bookmarks, 245 comments.
That's crazy.
And that was
That's just that little clip.
This one I think got the most like retweets out of like anything. Wow. Followed very, very closely by some more items.
Ospreay?
Another video that I posted of Toni Storm.
That one. That's the one.
Bleeding like crazy.
The big bleeder.
And
she's
then
on the ring steps.
Also, I posted the finish to the match at the top of the cage. That one also did really big numbers. Where
These women
like
are over too.
Her
like it's not for nothing.
Stabbing her. The only other match that did that kind of retweets and nothing out retweeted. The Spanish Fly didn't get that many retweets. It did get more views, but not that many retweets in comparison to the Toni Storm visual. But the other thing was literally Kyle and Will Ospreay. But
unreal.
An amazing match. Honestly, I just want to say shout out to Toni Storm and Mariah May. Those girls.
Beautiful work.
Fucking killed it.
That's what pro wrestling is all about, honestly. Like in the history books, that match, this feud, all of this is going to go in there. Women are going to be inspired off this for generations, saying, I'm in the business because of what Toni Storm and Mariah May did. And that's bigger than anything. You ladies are the best. Amazing.
Let's go. All right. We got a couple more super chats we still got to catch up with. Thank you for everybody's patience. We know we're a little bit behind here. We got Blake Smith Music who shares, what's up, Kelly Connection? Great to see you guys. The show is a blast.
Blake.
Watch with friends, and we had a great time. Swerve saved the show. LOL. We'll get to that match in a second. Thank you so much, Blake. We got RF A. McKinnon too, who says, I think Cope and Mox was okay in my opinion, but it was a show with a great definitely shouldn't have main evented, but after replay wasn't that bad to me. I know I'm in the minority. LOL. I bless your soul for going and watching a replay of that.
Good shit, dog.
Bless your soul, man. Thank you so much, though. We really appreciate that. It's gonna sound mean. I don't even think it was a Dynamite main event. Oh my gosh, I'm so mean.
That was a Collision opener.
All right, Grapple Geekery says, don't blame a fella old head rage. Blame CJ and TK. Who's CJ?
Chris Jericho.
Oh, I'm like, who the hell is CJ?
Who's CJ? Now I'm with you, Grapple Geekery. They have a lot to do with it too.
We got D-Strip Fajal who says, Swerve is, by the way, thank you. He says, Swerve is our savior from this hell. Please don't put a loss in the universe, Denise. We need this to win bad. Shout out to Reg. Happy birthday, brother.
Yes.
Trust me, I'm going to manifest a victory here, but your girl right here, if you guys watch the Wednesday night post show, before Jon Moxley won this title, before Bryan Danielson lost, Reg, your girl, was right here saying, guys, this is not looking good. They're going to put the belt on Jon Moxley. This is not a good idea. The matches haven't been good on the pay-per-views. I don't see a reason why he should be AEW World Champion for a fourth time.
Mm-hmm.
I had said
I remember it. I
felt like I was yelling at the top of my lungs and no one was hearing me.
I wasn't even hearing you. I was on the show being like, it'll be fine. Like, it's going to be a good story with Bryan and Mox and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, Denise was on early. Like, she was never in, essentially. And then as the week started progressing, like, oh, they're doing the same thing every week. What the hell is this?
What was it? Was it Jon Moxley, Takeshita? What was the match that I was like, what was it, Naito? Who was it?
Oh, it was the Naito match.
It was the Naito match. Yes, the Naito match.
It's like, oh, I don't know about Mox.
What is happening? I was like, that's one of the moments where I was like, I don't know.
And then you were just on the, they shouldn't go back to the well again. Like, the breaking case of emergency Jon Moxley thing.
1000%. John Taylor says, how many more super chats do I need to send to fly Reg down to LA every Wednesday? I'm loving this in-person Cali connection energy. Yes. Well, Reg, I don't know how much it costs to get down here.
We did, talk about some things last night post show about the future. So I don't know. Who knows?
Well, it's all up to Reg.
Who knows? I don't know.
All right, thank you, John. We got Leonard Aarons III who says, at work, going to keep this short. If Swerve wins the AEW World title, it will make sense. Why we landed with the main event we got. It was good, not great, but the rest of this was excellent. I would love it, Leonard, if we got to a place where we got Swerve winning the title and seeing Swerve either, because I think at the end of the day, we want to see Hangman maybe get the title back to Will Ospreay. Yep. That's somebody that's still hanging in the wind. Yep. So, like, those are some directions. Like, obviously, he's had history with Hangman, so you could go back to that if they wanted to. But he does have history with Will Ospreay. They had the one match, but you could tell way more of a story there than they did.
So many stories.
So, like, there are options if they do go that direction. If you stick with Jon Moxley, who's next down the pipeline?
That he's gonna beat? You know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of people you just said, like, Ospreay could be slotted in immediately. Hangman could be slotted in immediately. We could get Max in there. There's like a bunch of ways you can go. I just don't know if they will.
I'm just here to be realistic.
Yeah. I do like what Leonard Aarons III is saying here, though. I think there is some merit to, like, because there is the relationship with Swerve and Cope after. I don't know if the promo after the show was seen on the broadcast. But, like, Swerve is like, Cope gets on and says, I've given you a lot of advice through the years because I'm a big fan of yours. And, like, that's real. Like, before Cope was in the company, Swerve was still very in touch with him, getting advice and doing all these things. And Cope has gone on record to be like, Swerve's one of those guys. So, like, in story, Swerve coming to save him, kind of help him, and then him being the next one would actually make a lot of sense. Let's just put it in the universe. Swerve is winning the championship at Dynasty. I can't think of it any other way.
Right. All right. Rob Herring Jr. here says, did y'all see Swerve confront Cope in the ring? That's the part you were talking about right now, Reg, right?
Fire. He looked like a superhero, dude. You should have, in the building, it felt so good to just see him perched up there like fucking like a bat signal, and then hit that, and then people go absolutely mental, and then he gets on the mic and cuts the promo, and it just feels like this is the energy. This is how you should leave a show, feeling like this.
Leonard Aarons III says, as for Moxley's run in totality, I think folks are kind of missing something big. He couldn't have something mirroring what we have seen out of his previous runs. It would get him cheered. Yeah, but you could be a heel and not be bad. And just because you're a heel doesn't mean you don't have to put on good matches.
I'm at a this is kind of an interesting concept for me, though, Leonard, because I've been thinking about this recently off the backs of the John Cena heel turn. And if anybody is truly a heel that gets real heat, like Logan Paul, unfortunately, gets real heat. But like John Cena, there's going to be a lot of people that cheer him.
Facts. I've been saying this.
You know what I mean? Like it's a different space to be in. So it's like, Ken Moxley there's a fine line between go away heat and I'm mad at you heat. And we've crossed in the go away heat line, I think, with Mox. So I don't know.
Yes. All right. Terrence Matthews here says, I'm so glad that TNA and WWE have a deal because now they finally acknowledge their superstars' TNA accomplishments.
TNA.
Yeah, I do agree with that. That's very, very nice.
They should do that.
Accomplishments be acknowledged because wrestling is wrestling. Thank you so much, Terrence. We got
Thanks,
John
Terrence.
Taylor here who says, crazy that Mox, Edge, and Christian's Flames got stuck on the East Coast and AEW Revolution ended with Ospreay Fletcher match and then Swerve coming out to say hi to everyone. Hey, that's how I saw the show.
That's not what happened.
That's what I chose to see. We got Leonard Aarons III who says, so actress killing kayfabe on AEW pay-per-view bad. WWE routinely unaliving it on the regular good. Got it. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Don't.
I wonder, like, bless her heart, when she walked back there and everyone was giving her the eyes. She was probably like,
yeah. She's like, what did I say?
Who do you think told her, like, hey, what you said out there was really bad?
I don't know who was given that unfortunate task. Maybe like Amanda. Shout out to Amanda Huber. It could have been like somebody like her that were like, hey, that thing you said is bad.
It might have been the director, maybe Ash.
Oh, yeah, the director.
Seems like he knows about wrestling,
yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
So
he probably was like, hey, that thing you said, those fans, you hear why they acted like that? So
right.
It's all an unfortunate situation, but she had good intentions.
She did. She had good intentions. I feel bad for her, honestly. I would have cried.
Don't be mad at Queen of the Ring, the movie, because of what she said.
Van Housen Van Live says, watching in New Jersey before I take a bus to Madison Square Garden for Monday Night Raw. Still would have preferred to be at Revolution last night. That show was insane. It definitely was fun, but I hope you have a good time today at Raw. Thank you so much, Van Housen. We got Sheldon Jackson here who says AEW has never had a ladies main event on a pay-per-view. The closest we got was Double or Nothing last year with a triple main event, including Mercedes versus Willow for the TBS title, Christian versus Swerve, and Anarchy in the arena. Thank you. So, yeah, I told you Sheldon would have our backs on this. I knew it.
Appreciate it, Sheldon. We need these things, you know?
We're stupid.
Man, can't remember. Wait, what happened on the show last night?
What's my name again? What's my name? It's Lisa, bitch.
Lisa. What's up, Lisa? Shout out to Lisa.
Lisa is far more over than Denise ever
was. Way over.
You
need to start advertising my shows with Lisa because Denise is out of here. She washed.
But no, yes. And we loved that match. But anyways, Margie Love here says, hopefully this match changes the way bookers, owners work, make the systemic change we need in women's wrestling.
Probably not.
No, because I wish that was the case. But how many times haven't we seen great women's storytelling?
We've seen so many great matches throughout these years now where we're like, this is going to change everything. And it doesn't.
Does not. We have to continue fighting the uphill battle.
We got to fight it. We got to make sure they know that match should have been the main event.
Thank you, Margie. We got the Moneymaker Chris here who says, hey, Denise and Reg, love the pay-per-view last night. Toni Storm versus Mariah was the match of the night. Have any of your listeners said that they had an issue watching on Prime? The stream cut out a couple of times.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I don't think that I've seen anybody say that just yet.
I haven't heard anything about how the Prime stream went. We had questions about if it was streamed on Max or anything. So, yeah, if you guys could chime in if you were watching Prime to say how the stream was, because that was their first time. So I would expect them to run into some problems, but it can't continue like this.
Right.
And do you get a Moneymaker, Chris? Do you get a replay of it? Like, how did it work? It's
got to get a replay. I assume when you purchase something on, I don't know. I've never watched a live on Prime.
Yeah, me neither.
But I have rented like a movie, pay $3.99.
But that's way different than like maybe they have the you can watch it for 24 hours thing.
Yeah, they give you like a due date. Yeah. All right, we got thank you so much, Moneymaker Chris.
Thanks,
and
Chris.
If anybody had any issues, please put it in the chat and let us know for sure. So yeah, it seems like I'm seeing some people say that there were a couple of glitches in there.
Okay. Yeah, I'd expect it. First broadcast, they got to get things right. Some people didn't.
Sheldon watched on that stream and he said his Prime stream was excellent. No issues at all.
Sweet.
All right. Well, I guess I can't really speak on this
because they're about to have basketball. They have to figure it out like now.
Right. We got well-rounded Leo here who says like this AEW pay-per-view and John Cena heel turn. I hate that. I hate that whenever something is good in wrestling, people start saying it's the greatest of all time.
Very fair. Like there's a lot of recency bias, Leo. Like people are like, that's the best thing I've ever seen. The Bloodline's the greatest of all time. John Cena is the greatest heel turn of all time. This is the greatest pay-per-view of all time. People do jump out the window pretty quick.
Mind you, with John Cena's heel turn, you got to keep in mind that there was a lot of people that weren't around for Hogan's heel turn. Or they weren't of age, or they're newer fans.
I started watching wrestling 2017. Of course, you're not going to understand the Hogan
There's a lot that goes into that. As for the AEW pay-per-view, we've had so many great pay-per-views. Like, I would literally have to sit down.
That's the best part about it.
Look at every single freaking card and just go from there. But, I mean, it was a great freaking pay-per-view.
Great problem for AEW to have that after multiple shows. They're like, that was the best show ever. And people agree, you know?
We got Sheldon Jackson who says, sadly, I think Mox retains versus Swerve and keeps the title till All In, where he loses the title to Darby. So the Death Rider story, BS story continues. I hate to say this, but I don't think the Darby stuff is going to pan out anymore.
Yeah,
after the Mount Everest thing,
yeah,
math ain't mathing.
Math is not. They need more time. I don't know. We haven't heard a peep about Darby, so I wouldn't.
I think the ship has kind of passed for right now. It can come back, and I hope it does because I'm still hoping for it. But I think that right now, when he hasn't been on TV and he's going to go do his bit and not his bit, but go do this challenge of a lifetime on Mount Everest. I mean, it doesn't make sense in terms of the timing of All In and everything.
And think about the time when we get there, how hot Ospreay, Swerve, Hangman, MJF, how hot these guys are going to be, and Darby's going to be gone, and just to come in and reap all the benefits, that just doesn't really make sense.
Right. So we got Ben Fossey here who says, what do you think is next for MJF? I don't know, but MJF is full of surprises. So I'm going to say maybe a storyline we don't expect.
He is full of a lot of surprises, and I'm interested to see where he moves on next. He never does moves that we're like, it's probably that. He's always like, totally out of left field, and I expect that again.
Right. We got John Taylor here who says, hear me out. Salcedo Creator House, where Santi, Reg, Chin, and Robin move into Denise's house like that Creator House TikTok trend from 2017. Monetize the drama when Santi wears his Reg's beanie. I don't like that kind of stuff. Like those content creator houses.
Those are weird. And like,
that's weird.
I don't think Denise's husband's gonna like a bunch of dudes moving. Like, hey, I'm gonna move in 4 dudes. How you like that? You ready? Can you
in a 2-bedroom apartment?
Can you share your bathroom? And he's like, no. Absolutely not.
Amazing. We got Christopher Marino who says the whole thing started to have Darby return to be the big savior, but it's been so bad. Time to move on. Sorry, Darby couldn't have climbed a mountain. Shouldn't have climbed a mountain.
Yes, Chris.
But at the end of the day, Darby is going to remember climbing Mount Everest far more, I think, than anything else.
It's gonna. I mean, I say if he does both, like he's gonna in 10 years be like, damn, I climbed Mount Everest. That's crazy.
Right.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. Reg, if you climbed Mount Everest, became AEW world champion.
I'll probably say Mount Everest. Like people died doing Mount Everest.
Right. So exactly.
That takes precedence. I think what Denise is saying is he's gonna feel like it's worth it.
He's fine. Yeah. He's fine. We got CTE Drive who says Leslie Jones was so into that pay-per-view. She was enjoying it. Oh, she was.
Dude.
Dude, was so funny. She was getting.
I could see her from her intro, like from the moment she walked in. She was so excited. She came during the Mercedes match, and I thought she was just there for Mercedes because she was going so hard for her. But throughout the night, I watched her for a lot of it. She was having such a great time. She made the show better for me watching the show. I was like, this is amazing. And there was one point for SNL heads real quick. Jay Farrell was also there. And like Leslie Jones and Jay Farrell were having a moment at AEW. And I watched it and I was like, this is insane.
That's so funny. All right. Thank you so much, CTE Drive. We got Chris Moore here who says, do you think there's any chance the first women's pay-per-view spot is reserved already for a certain CEO? Enjoyed her match. How long until Mercedes goes for the world title? So BTW, we might as well get to that. Mercedes Moné versus Momo. I think that was a good match. The crowd wasn't nearly as into it as, other Mercedes matches.
That was unfortunate.
I can't blame them though, because you got to understand there's going to be a huge percentage of the crowd that's like, we already know Mercedes is winning.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really know or care, so it's like,
we know this person isn't going to beat Mercedes.
Right. And I feel like that's an issue in the sense that you have such a great story with Toni and Mariah. And if you're building up Mercedes Moné the way that they are, you got to give her a better story. She just can't be going out there and having,
I feel biased because I'm like, that shit was heat. What y'all talking about? Shut up. Mercedes was cooking. She's the greatest of all time.
It took them a minute to get the crowd to actually react to that match, which they did.
I'm like, that's what I liked about it. She got him into it. Look, I'm being biased. I know.
At one
I'm sorry.
point, at least 4 sections near me, they weren't watching the match. You want to know what they were watching? Some 2 drunk dudes fighting in the crowd. One of them threw up. Okay, and then they got escorted out by the red t-shirts.
One of them threw up. I didn't know one of them threw up.
Wait, I just realized crypto.com and those people wear the red shirts.
Oh, what?
Oh my God, I just realized
they do.
That.
They are wearing red shirts in a crypt arena. This is crazy. Y'all are wilding out crypto arena. That's nuts. But this is still get into the story for 1 minute on what happened.
All right. So I don't know what the hell went down, but 2 guys were like fighting. Oh, and apparently the guy so I posted the video up and someone sent me a screenshot of the video because there was a guy in the audience who's the guy that's always causing problems at indie shows.
Oh,
the guy that got punched by
Jacob Fatu.
He was in that same aisle, but he wasn't the one that got into the problems.
Oh, that guy.
With the 2 other drunk guys.
Dude, LA has this problem. We know the GCW problem that they have for a while. Some fans just like they pregame with beer and then they drink more when they get in there. And by the time the show happens, they're trashed, and that's kind of what happened. Because that's an early match. That was the second match.
So, what do you call it? Ryan, because Ryan sat next to me. He was up in the concessions, and he told me that he saw, like, by the time the guy that got taken out, he was fighting the security in the concession. I didn't see that part because I was in my seat.
I love it.
But like, yeah, he was trying. He was like not trying to get out, and it's so funny, Reg, because this is I think like the 5th or 3rd. I don't even know how many fan drama videos that I have captured at AEW shows in multiple cities, by the way.
Listen,
where people are drunk and getting escorted and trying to fight security guards at the venues.
Listen, if you want pro wrestling, real pro wrestling, that's what you get, baby. This is like the back in the days. You can get a fight in the crowd, just like a fight at the show. This is real pro grabs, baby. None of that PG shit.
So yeah, I think one of the guys threw up on another guy. I have no idea,
so
but bless those workers' hearts because they were out there scrubbing. All right.
Did it smell like that in the area?
I wasn't close enough to get it. But the guy that got punched in the face by Jacob Fatu, he ended up taking those guys' seats afterwards. Once it was all clean and stuff. So he got a seat upgrade.
Good for him.
Rings, aisles, freaking entrance.
Why are they fighting down there, you dumb idiots?
It was wild. I'm like, yo, how much did those tickets cost? And you're out in the second match.
You're not even watching the show.
Wild. All right, Chris Moore, thank you so much.
Thanks,
and I do think Mercedes might end up getting that spot.
That's going to happen.
Ever.
I think you're right.
Right. We got Crazy 101 who says Revolution was great. Triple H can't see color.
Never will.
Thank you, Crazy 101. We got the Moneymaker Chris who says looks like you do have access to the replay.
Okay, that's dope.
Good to know. That's a good investment.
That's really
there.
cool.
Crazy 101 says Cena is heel, Kenny is champ, Swerve as champ next. Yeah, I feel you. I like
Look,
that
wrestling's
prediction.
hot, brother.
All right, we got Rafael Garcia who says, I was so confused as to why everyone was looking around during their match. That's what happened. Wrestling, damn it.
I didn't even know. I was in the crowd. I didn't know until
posted
Denise
the
started
video.
texting.
Your girl is always next to the drama. All right. I don't love the drama. It loves me.
That's what's so good about wrestling. Like, I was not that far away and I didn't know none of this, you know?
Yeah. People were singing na na na.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Nothing.
hey,
Didn't hear a thing.
Goodbye. And the guy was like,
No, goodbye. Rips his shirt off.
While I was recording the video, I was like, fight the security guard. Give me good content.
Come on. World star, baby.
World star.
That's a dated reference. Whatever.
Rafael
TikTok.
Garcia.
I don't know. What do you want from me?
Rafael Garcia. Thank you so much. All right. With that being said, we got to get into the actual amazing other match with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, which was my favorite match of the night. I think at the end of the day, it boils down to taste and whatever, right?
Yeah.
I just was so
I had a different match of the night.
invested in this matchup, the things that they did, even from the very beginning. Like, you had these two guys standing at the top of the freaking cage, staring at each other.
Looking
I'm
like
what the
bosses.
fuck are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Right. This was so violent, so brutal. Two former best friends that going at it with each other. There was so much that went down in this match. We got the Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. They just have such a great chemistry. They know each other very, very well. They can do things with each other that not very many wrestlers can do. That Spanish fly off the top of the cage, though, I got to get into that. I was literally, Reg, I'm always down to see the craziest things. I'm like, yeah, do it, right? When they got set up, and once I realized he was setting up for a Spanish fly, I was like, no, don't do it. And I just kept, in the back of my head, I could hear myself saying, like, please, God, do not let these guys die right now. That was my thought. Like, my thoughts in my head was, please don't do it. Don't let them die.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, I can't believe they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And they freaking
did it.
And it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah. I was watching Kyle Fletcher's feet the whole time because it's like, you know, how the top of the cage, you guys like those bars. I'm like, if his feet get caught up, this is going to be horrific. And so they're up there and we're all like, and like, you guys, I reacted to a lot of things in the night audibly, but like this time I yelled. I was like, like when it was crazy. Like I couldn't, but like, you just can't imagine two guys would do something as crazy as this. That bump that Kyle has to take. Ospreay has to go off backwards.
The cutter off of the steel cage.
Okay, listen. That shit was impressive, but the most impressive thing was the Os cutter. Like the way that you can maneuver your body backwards off of a cage and look like a fucking graceful swan and hitting a cutter from so high. You know, a lot of people, Denise, are like, after that moment, they're like, there's a cage match tomorrow. Good luck following that. I was like, yo, cage matches can't happen again. Look what Ospreay just did. Just so many unbelievable moments. It felt like a blow off, and we need a lot of moments. Last night felt like a blow off. Revolution felt like a blow off show in a good way, like moments that we've set up and paid for a while. There's a lot of blood in this. There was a lot of thumbtacks, a lot of kind of violence. Mark Davis came down at one point. It felt like kind of the same thing as the Toni and Mariah. I feel like I'm the same thing of like, do these guys want to kill each other? Like, are they okay? Like, I think they really hate each other.
I texted you during this match and I said, bro, we got to like blade or something for our post show. Because the theme of the night is the bloody face.
Blood.
We're going to be left out if we're not out here bleeding.
Nasty. It had to smell disgusting down there. But yeah, just crazy feats of strength. They looked like two superstars standing up there to start the show. But like,
and I'm sorry, Reg, tell me again how you wanted Kyle Fletcher to go back to a tag team. I'm sorry. Should we still do that, Reg? You made a really good case for that last time. Are you still on that?
Who brought some heat to this match right here?
They didn't even need Mark Davis.
Lies.
They still had the same incredible match with or without Mark Davis.
Who brought some heat to this match?
Reg, Kyle Fletcher.
Who helped?
Kyle Fletcher is a star on his own, and he is way past having to share the limelight. Way past having to share the limelight, Reg. Dunn doesn't need Mark Davis.
It's not about sharing.
Bless his soul.
I'm saying
Kyle
also,
Fletcher is a star on his own.
Like, I want him to be one on a single star. He's awesome.
Reginald. Righteous Reginald.
Government name.
I hope that after this man, Kyle Fletcher, is booked like one of your top guy.
He's a top star.
He's a top star
top
now
star.
after this. He's not a baby anymore
No.
on this, okay?
No. I
He's
think
not,
the way
he's not on the level of Daniel Garcia, Wheeler
No.
Yuta, Jack
No,
Corey.
no.
He just skyrocketed
Yeah.
above all of those guys, and now he needs to be recognized as such. We need to be talking about how in the next 1 or 2 years, this man could legitimately be AEW World Champion.
Yeah, I think definitely.
And the only reason I said 1 or 2 years was because there's a lot of people ahead of him.
He's not
going
going to be AEW World Champion, but like in
He's
3 years.
gonna be in 1 to 2 years.
I'm not saying in 1 to 2.
Here's the thing, Reg,
wouldn't say 2
AEW
years.
needs to make their own bigger stars. Kyle Fletcher is one of the perfect people they can do that with.
I mean,
Birth somebody brand
okay, I just
new
thought about it for
and
2
put
seconds.
them into the spotlight.
It's not that hard to fucking get there.
No,
if Ospreay wins the
no.
championship, who's the person to beat
Just
Ospreay?
all they have to do is devote the time.
That's
to him.
honestly that's
He
the story
already
right
proved-
there because he lost.
Exactly. He already proved he can go.
Yeah. Mhm.
He could go to the level of Will fucking Ospreay.
You're right.
All right, he could go to that level. He's
I'm
a
with you.
great storyteller.
Yeah.
He's good on promo.
He's great.
He looks the part.
He did.
All you gotta do is invest in this man.
You have to invest in a young person, I think, definitely. But still, the line, dude.
Also, I'm going off right now because I'm very passionate about this.
Ospreay, Max, Hangman, Swerve, Kenny, Takeshita, Okada, Ricochet.
I'm even put. I love Takeshita.
You
know
put
I love-
Fletch over Takeshita?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes,
For what this
because
AEW, what this represents, I'm with you.
Kyle kind of covers more bases.
He does. Like he can be the number one guy in AEW.
And you know I love Takeshita.
Takeshita's amazing.
You know I want Jay White on top.
But
I'm
like,
even putting Kyle above
on
Jay.
front of posters and leading the charge, Kyle Fletcher is the guy.
That's it. Like we need to start talking about
Totally.
like we're talking about Hollywood endings. This was a Star is Born.
And I think you want to have wrestlers like everybody else kind of has a connect, like Ospreay, New Japan, like Hangman's a homegrown star, and I guess MJF's a homegrown star. But Swerve has like the WWE thing. One time he was in there. There's so many people that have other connections. You need guys that have no connections that feel like you're homegrown stars to be the champions, and Kyle Fletcher represents that.
Facts.
I hear you.
Like he could have the same journey or similar journey and rise that Hangman Page had back when the AEW started.
Right.
But now this is the new era.
Totally.
All right. With that being said, we got Rafael Garcia who says, I already read that one. Chris Ledeck who says, what up, Cali Connection?
What's up, Chris?
We both said that at the exact same time. Chris also says, hey, Cali Connection, what do you think is next for Toni Storm and Mariah? Because that was the final
That's a good question.
feud. Do you think the main event was overbooked? Swerve should win the title from Moxley. Overbooked, unfortunately, in this situation, it needed it. It needed the overbooking.
If it wasn't
garner any
overbooked, it would have
reaction.
been so bad. Like if they would have just had a match and Mox won, we would be shitting on this even worse. So they needed to be overbooked. But Chris brings up a great question. Like we already kind of moved on from Toni and Mariah, but what's next for Toni and Mariah?
For Mariah, I don't know. For Toni Storm, we got to get that Mercedes match. That's the one that we've been waiting for.
Already?
I don't know when, but it has to happen.
I think there's some more build. I don't know if I'd get right to it.
I'm not saying right to it.
But who are the other heels, I guess, is the thing in the women's division that can go against Toni right now? It's hard.
Yeah.
It's real hard.
I'm trying to think about what Mariah's going to do.
Mariah's, I think she has an easier thing because you could do stat.
Oh my God, I was thinking Chris Statlander.
Immediately, I'm like, stat. It doesn't, there you go. You know what I mean? I think there's stronger baby faces to go against the heels. I think she'll have an easier time moving forward, honestly.
We got Hassan Butler. Thank you, Chris. We got Hassan Butler who says, I remember Reg said he can't do both. That's how big.
Wait, what's that?
I remember Reg said he can do both, but that's how big.
He can do both.
We're talking about Kyle doing both.
Oh yeah. Kyle. That's what I'm saying. I don't want it to only be a single
Get
thing.
out of here, Reg.
I want him to do both.
Reg,
like he can sometimes have matches.
No, he's done. He's on his own now. He went from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
All right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Margie Love says, I think Kyle Fletcher is on top now. Facts.
Listen.
Facts.
Sick individual, a little kinky little guy. Licking the cage.
Margie Love, thank you so much for the love. All right, with that being said, we got to get into let's see. Sorry, everyone's messaging me right now, so I'm like, what is happening?
What's happening, Denise?
Yeah.
Let's get into Swerve and Ricochet.
I got a business email, and I was like, oh, do I have to respond to this right now?
No, we're on air. Let's get into Swerve and Ricochet.
Swerve and Ricochet. Here we go.
Because that was my match of the night. I just want to say out loud.
All right. Well, there you go. Go for it.
Yeah, I think, I probably have bias. You guys are like, of course, the two black guys. Of course. Yes, that's why. That's why it was the best match.
Talk about your bias.
Yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it here on air. I want all the black wrestlers to win. What do you want to do about it?
Can you imagine if I only rooted for the women's matches?
There's a lot of people that do that.
Or if I only, no, but because I'm a woman,
there's people that do that. There's people that make their lives off of doing that.
No, or like I only rooted only for the Mexicans.
Yeah, you should. Who else is going to root for them if you don't? Is all I'm saying.
No, for me, it's different. For me, I just go with like legitimately who got the most rise out of me.
Oh, okay. It's yeah, all right. She doesn't want DUI. DEI should be like, oh, it's on merit. Like, who's the best? Oh, yeah. We don't get fucking opportunities, okay? It should be off who's the best.
Fletcher, Will Ospreay was match of the night for me.
This is
followed by Toni Storm and Mariah May. Okay,
Four white people. I'm kidding, you guys.
Hey, aren't like most of them? Do they count as white if they're outside the United States?
Yes. What do the police say? Look, we're getting too deep in the woods now. Okay, listen, let's talk about Swerve and Ricochet. Amazing. Great stuff. Talked about Swerve earlier and how he saved the end of this show, but it was just it's been a recurring theme at all the AEW shows I've been to in the last year. Before the shows start, when the crowds are building, it's whose house, Swerve's house. Like, it's not Woo anymore. It's not fucking LA Knights thing. Like, it's an AEW thing, and it's Swerve's thing. This crowd loves this guy so fucking much. So when his theme hits, people are going insane. Like, he felt like when he walked out there, Denise, I was like, there's an aura around this man. This guy's a fucking superstar. I texted Phil immediately to be like, damn, this fool looks great. He looks insane is what I said, like in a good way. Like, he looks like a top star just walking down there, just like, this is his. This is all his. Make this guy the world champ. I thought Ricochet looked great also coming out with the robe, making his little modification to it. But then these guys get into the match. I knew on Wednesday when they had that tag match and they just started cooking, I was like, oh, this match is going to be crazy on Sunday. And so the match starts and they start going a million miles per hour. But I thought the most interesting part about it was like Ricochet was in control for a lot of the match. Like, he was dominating Swerve at point. He had Swerve like off guard. He had Swerve's mind in different places, and he just kept capitalizing on it. So many crazy moments. A cop killer, vertebreaker on the announce desk. Just
that was nasty.
What do you got? Why are you? What is the reason? What would be the reason? Amazing stuff. Like I liked Nana's involvement of trying to get Ricochet off guard, trying to get his robe before the match is even over. Ricochet's keeping his eyes on them, but he's still so focused on dominating Swerve that I think he just had a masterful performance.
He got knocked down at one point.
He got knocked down. They carted Nana out. He was like out of the match. He flipped Swerve off. We're all thinking like, oh shit.
That thought that Nana was going to turn on Swerve.
Yes.
By the way, people behind me were like, oh shit, he's going to turn heel.
Right, which would have been crazy.
No way. I was
don't do
laughing
that.
Internally.
Yeah,
like,
don't do that. That's never going to happen. And so when he made his return to the big pop, he catches Ricochet off guard again, but then Ricochet hits him with the dive, and you're like, oh no, Ricochet's going to do this. This isn't going to be right. But then Swerve has this anime fans, Dragon Ball Z fans like to call it Super Saiyan. He like goes into this mode. We saw it in the Bryan Danielson match when Bryan tried to hit him with the Busaiku knee and he dusted off. Swerve gets to this point where it's like, I'm in God mode. There's no way you're going to defeat me. And that's what it felt like last night. He locked into that. All right, Ricochet, we've had fun. This has been a great match. We've had a great moments, but it's over. And he just gets into that mode where he starts cooking, doing all of his high spots. He looks like $1 million doing it. JML driver. It's all over. Like, this is our guy. We want this guy to be world champion. The crowd knows it. Everybody knows it. That great moment at the end where Swerve hands Nana the robe. They have that great moment. Then Nana hits the dance, and we go absolutely mental.
Was great.
Oh my God.
Like,
we were going crazy. Like, soon as Nana did that, we were like, yeah.
It was
So
definitely
So good.
lit in there with that. I think that I love that they added that extra touch of the post-match afterwards with the presentation of the robe, because it had to happen, because Nana got into Swerve's face and had said, if you don't do this for me, like, we're done.
We're out.
We can't be friends. You don't deserve to be bestowed upon this robe, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't have made sense if they would have just ended the match and moved on. You had to address that. You have to show that Swerve had this big moment for Nana, and Nana's appreciative of it. You know, it's just a great moment.
I think overall there was just a lot of energy in this match, from the match
the
to the actual crowd.
Yeah.
And it was a really good give and take. And that was very, very fun. They put a hell of a performance. Like Ricochet, I mean, I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record, but this dude legitimately has changed the trajectory of his career.
Ricochet is amazing. He was already like a generational talent, but I think this last couple of months in AEW, adding the promos, adding the character work, seeing how he worked that match last night in a different pace, and he carried some moments, and he was like a veteran in there. Masterful performance from Ricochet. He's entered into a different stratosphere. I feel proud as a black man. This might be the first ever 5-star match between two black men. So we'll see.
Ooh, that's going to be
first
exciting.
one ever.
There's never been one?
There's never been one between two black guys. Dave Meltzer don't like that. Love you, Meltzer. I don't know what it is.
Okay, so with that being said, we have the whole thing where Swerve had the better match with Ricochet.
Yes.
Versus Jon Moxley and Copeland. They did not have the better match.
No.
This is what I mean by people are expecting
again
Swerve to win the title. Like legit.
Just because, like I said, the momentum, everybody's in the moment. Like Swerve is the guy, and then he puts on a performance like this, has that big moment. And then at the show, we feel like it's at like Swerve's the guy. It's just, but I can say that about it. Like when we get to Hangman, I'm going to say the same shit. So it's like, there's so many wrestlers that they have that could change this in an instant, Denise, and they got to get to it.
We got Christopher Marino here who says this will go down as one of the best pay-per-views of all the people who lost their can't their rise, because I have been here before looking at you, Garcia and Willow. So go down as one of the people who lost their continue their rise, because I have been here before looking at you, Garcia and Willow. Yeah, rises that were sort of stunted a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've had so many better moments that it doesn't matter. I think that,
Reg, you gotta move your
okay, all right. Hold on a minute, you guys. Thanks for saying something. You guys, give me some moments. Oh no. I'm coming up.
Okay, let me. Sorry, guys. Our neighbor actually was ringing. I thought it was Amazon, so I'm like, oh, am I gonna open the door? It's Amazon, right? But it was my neighbor, because the day is street sweeping day, and Reg's car is out on the street right now, and Reg can't find his keys. Run, Reg, run! Reg's car is out there. Oh man, that is so funny. And I literally was like not gonna open the door because I thought it was Amazon, and I'm like, wow, Amazon's being really aggressive. Like they're still ringing the bell. Like usually they ring once and then bounce, but no, it's the neighbor. And then I forget because I don't have a car, so I don't gotta worry about street sweeping or any of that type of stuff. So I wasn't even thinking that Monday was like a day for any of this. But anyways, Reg had to go move his car so it wouldn't get towed. Live on the air, his little car is gonna get towed. Let's see if he makes it, guys, because I can hear the street sweeping. Did you make it? You made it? Oh god, I was worried because I could hear the freaking car coming, and I'm like, bro, like literally
had to run up out of here, you guys. I'm back.
I thought the neighbor was Amazon. I'm like, why is Amazon being so aggressive?
Yeah, I was like, usually they just ring it and run out of here. What do you want from us?
And I thought, okay, we could ignore the first one, and then the second one, I'm like, okay, there's something going
on.
on.
Thanks to your neighbor. I would have been so sad if I would have got a dumbass ticket.
How would you have left? You would have been stuck here.
Oh my god, I would have cried.
Your little egg car.
Oh
your car looks like an egg, Reg.
Why my car got to be an egg though?
All right, we got our Do It here who says, coming in late, sup, y'all.
Ding dong.
Man, I miss being able to enjoy Jon Moxley. 11 out of 10 show. Otherwise, Nana and Swerve forever. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, our Do It. And yeah, I really hope that, Jon Moxley finds the feud that works for him. Who knows? Maybe this Swerve Jon Moxley feud might change the perception of things for Jon Moxley. Maybe by the end of it, we're going to be like, woo!
We love Moxley. We need more of this reign. Yeah, maybe it's just the opponent because he's picked some interesting choices as people to defend his championship against.
Margie Love says, not to bring up the women again, but it was an issue that Willow was not on this card and that she hasn't had a feud to dig into for a minute.
Agreed.
I agree. 1,000%.
I think that...
I do not consider this Marina Shafir thing a good enough feud.
I think that Willow is going to be the one to defeat Mercedes Moné for the TBS championship. So we're going to get there, but I hear you.
Yeah, but when, Reg?
At Double or Nothing, but I hear you.
I don't know, Reg.
A year from when they had that amazing match, they have another one and Willow gets the win. It makes a lot of sense. They need to get to it, though. It's soon.
That's cute, Reg. I'm glad you
Why is that cute?
I'm glad you think that. I've lost hope. All right, we got Kid Cudi here who says, honestly, it's always the follow that hurts AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that's sad. No, I'm like, the pay-per-views always deliver. Always deliver.
Yeah.
All right, so with that being said, we got to keep it moving. What match haven't we talked about? We haven't talked about a few matches, so let's get to them.
Max and Hangman.
All right, let's start off
the show.
They kicked off the show. Adam Page, MJF, nice 19-minute match that we had there. I'm trying to get back into this match. They did a good performance. This was one of it was funny because we had so many good matches in this Revolution. There were some that were very violent, and there were some that just went out there and had a really good wrestling match.
Yeah.
And this one was definitely on the side of, wasn't that violent. It wasn't violent really. But what I was thinking during this match,
but then it kind of was.
But I was not as violent as
not like
bloody
and blah blah blah, but like as a wrestling of these two guys are beating each other's ass.
But it was very low on the spectrum of violence that we saw
on
this show.
Definitely.
Right, I can't compare. It's apples and oranges for me.
But like in a vacuum, though.
Though, Reg, during this is that, how do I say this? I feel like now most feuds in AEW have to, I'm not saying they have to end in a violent way, but a lot of the best ones are ending in that kind of a fashion.
Yeah.
And given how things have gone in between MJF and Hangman, I feel like this was just the beginning. Like you cannot, like this, we were talking about a lot of feuds being blow-offs on the show. Mm-hmm. This is not one of them.
No, this is the beginning.
This was just the beginning. And I was watching it and I could tell that we were just in the beginning of this and that there's still way more to claw at because there's still so much more that they can do with both of these guys. I don't think they've gotten as mean, as nasty as they can get. And I think that they can even go further. Yeah,
now this is just the beginning of this feud. This felt good to open the show with, I think, of also two guys who could be world champion and they're starting the show. They're the first guys. They just had, like I was saying, it wasn't bloody violence or weapons and plunder. But there was some violent moments like Max dying on that damn angel.
Yes. Oh my God. That looks so scary.
Yo,
I was scared during
in the building watching it. We're all oh my God. It looked crazy. And then seeing it on replay, it looked even crazier. I'm like, that's the wildest bump I've ever seen. There was just moments like that. A couple of Hangman's lariats were really throwing that thing. I think these guys are going for it. Max had some great new offense, a couple of combos things. He was on 100% interacting with the crowd, being a shitty heel, his facials, just classic MJF performance. Hangman Page had a haircut.
Yeah, I didn't notice the haircut until afterwards. People kept commenting, being like, what was up with that man's hair? But from our view, I didn't see anything different. And then afterwards, I saw a video of Hangman, and I'm like, that's what it's like normal Hangman to me from the seats.
Yeah.
But, he still looks good.
It's Hangman. He's still working it. He's like a young Burt Reynolds or something. But yeah, these guys were so intense, and for a show that's going to feature plunder and barbed wire and thumbtacks and glass, I think you having a match like this to start the show, such a great way to go.
It was a really good match.
Yeah,
it was a really good match to kick off the show. Left me wanting to see more between these guys. Oh my God, you know what part I really loved? When MJF shoved his balls in Hangman's face.
My God, of course you would like that part. All these gray spots, and Denise was like, I like the dick spot.
Hey.
A tombstone on the chair on the
that
outside.
was insane, yo. I was scared.
Come
during
on.
that.
And Denise is like, what about the dick spot?
And the dick spot was funny. I laughed. It was insulting.
We had debated coming into the show on the result.
What's worse for you, taking the dick spot or taking the tombstone on the table? I mean, on the chair. At least tombstone on the chair. It's like, oh shit, you did that. Wow.
Dick spot.
Taking a dick spot, you're like, yo, dude, you got hit with someone's dick in your face. Talk about how disrespectful that could be.
Well, I'd rather be embarrassed than having my neck broke. So I'd go with dick spot over tombstone. Far and away every time. Like not even a competition. Dick spot. Dick spot right to the face. You're not going to get injured doing that. I mean, some probably can. But.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the size.
You guys are disgusting.
I'm done.
All right. So yeah, like I said,
that.
coming into the show, we had a debate on the winner, and Hangman Adam Page ended up getting the victory. I think that it tells to further the story. It tells
debating
some
on that when we didn't know who was going to win that.
Pretty hard, and I think that they made the right choice. This gives Max a lot of ammunition to come back harder on whatever's for him next. And this continues the forward momentum of one of the most over guys in the company and could also be your world champion tomorrow, Hangman Adam Page. Great performance.
Yeah. All right, we got let's see, John Taylor here who says Reg yelling at a tow truck coming. We're filming a podcast. History was made last night. First 5-star match with black wrestlers. Tow truck driver whose house Bruno recognizes real.
I wish it was that easy. They just told my good run.
Honestly, it would have made great content if
no, it wouldn't have. To whom?
To me, it would have been hilarious because the whole time you would have been out. Like we would have been talking wrestling, and inside your head, you'd be like, how am I going to get my car back? You wouldn't be able to do anything until after the podcast.
Not funny. That would have been horrible. And I would have had you pay for the tow. So.
Why would I have to pay for the tow?
That's what you mean.
I didn't know that.
Whose house? Denise's house.
I don't have a car, Reg.
Oh,
when do I have to worry about the street
I didn't know. I didn't factor that part in. That
exactly.
You didn't have a car.
And also, Reg, you can read. There are signs out there.
Are there? Where are they?
Bro, there are multiple street signs out there that say Monday street sweeping.
Damn, I've been out there smoking weed too. I should probably look up.
John, thank you so much for the super chat.
Look up.
Don't look up. It's like the movie Don't Look Up. You're going to see the street signs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that being said, we got to move on to the next match. Mercedes Moné versus, we already talked about that one.
Yep.
Next up that we haven't talked about, Okada versus Brody King. This match was definitely a good one. I think my favorite part was when Brody King took Okada around the ring and was just chopping him like crazy.
Yeah.
That was what I was hoping for this match after what we had seen on Dynamite.
That was probably one of my favorite Leslie Jones moments is watching her watch Brody King chop Okada in her face, dude. She was like, oh my God, what's happening here? And those chops, you guys, we talked about it on Wednesday when I was like, oh, he's chopping to show Okada what he's going to experience on Sunday. And he was bringing it even more. They were so loud. I was like, oh my God, he's destroying Okada. Okada's like red in spots.
All right. Dick
so
spot.
Loud.
Dick spot.
Dick spot again.
Wait, dick spot, chop, or tombstone through the freaking chair.
Dick spot, dick spots. Not even a competition. You're not about to chop my chest. Put that dick in my face. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're going way too far here.
Your DMs are gonna be.
We are going
tonight.
way
They're gonna be
too
like,
far here.
So righteous, Red.
I heard what you said. Stay out of my DMs, you sickos. No, that's wild. I did not say that. Why is it swinging? That's crazy. If it's swinging, leave it out of here. If it's swinging, stay to yourself. You nasty son of a gun. Oh, dude, why is it swinging?
We know what Reg's birthday celebration
why was it swinging is my question. Why is it massive? It's black too. That's crazy. This is wild. We have to stop. We have to shut this show down. I think it's 9 a.m. It's 10 a.m. in here over the West Coast.
I literally cannot breathe. My ribs are hurting.
I'm never coming back here.
Woo. I can't breathe.
Unbelievable. Almost got my car towed, and then this is the shit I come back to? A big swinging thingin'? Unbelievable. These are the conditions we work in, you guys.
And would I technically be your boss? Can you And I'm also HR.
Yeah, see, we talked about this before. I can't report you to you.
You could literally tell people, like, my boss put a microphone on my face.
Yeah.
It made it seem like it was a dick.
She embarrassed me on TV.
And I have video footage.
She embarrassed me in front of all these people. Unbelievable. We're just trying to talk about how bad this main event was.
You were the one that was like, put the dick in my face.
I did not say that. I mean, I did say that.
Over a chop, Reg.
Yeah, no, damn. That chops are hard.
Chop.
Listen, the dick spot don't hurt, is what I'm saying.
But it's like insulting.
I'd rather be insulted than hurt. You could get over an insult. Damn, that was pretty rude. But like your chest, you're like, damn, my chest still hurts. It's hamburger meat.
Ghosty Excess. Now she's trying to dominate you. Get out,
Yeah,
bro.
damn, dude. What is this?
Also, FYI, if you're enjoying the show, make sure to click that subscribe button.
Yes, please.
All right. So with that being said, we got Jack Frost here who says, this was my first AEW. Besides the ending, it was great. My favorite match was the cage match. Were they all good? ? Just brought back CZW memories. I love that,
I love
Jack.
it.
I love that this was your first AEW show because you are kind of really, I mean, I wouldn't say lucky because a lot of the shows really are good. There's only one pay-per-view I feel like doesn't hit for AEW. And it's World's End.
Yeah.
Usually that's not like a good one. It's usually ranked the lowest in my opinion from all the
almost
shows.
every time, yeah.
But AEW Revolution is always ranked in the top. Like they always go all out for AEW Revolution. It's weird because it's like you end the year, they kind of feel like they got senioritis.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to really put that much effort. And then it's like the start of the year, we're like brand new year, new us, like let's fucking go. And that's the show you get. So I feel like you got a really good show, Jack.
This is so funny because I was just thinking, damn, who's the MVP at Revolution? I'm like, oh yeah, there's a match, a gigantic match we haven't talked about yet.
We need to get into
there's an international championship match that we never talked about.
We'll get to it. We got John Taylor here who says, Reg, don't worry, TK got your back. I'd pay for the toe, an extra $420 on the stretch.
No, for sure. Good thing we didn't have to deal with that. That shit was crazy.
That's so funny. All right. Next up, we have the tag team match, the Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners. Who here in this room told another person that this was not going to be a squash? I told you this match wasn't going to be a squash, Reg. That's 2 times you've gotten the booking of the Outrunners wrong.
I was watching this match and 3 minutes passed and I was like, why is this match still happening? Then 6 minutes passed and I was like, what the fuck is this match doing right now?
This match was not that good, but it was filler, so it doesn't really like, I don't want to say I don't really count it, but I don't.
It's a tag team title match.
It felt like a filler match, Reg.
The only reason that I was fine with it
was right in between Toni Storm and Mariah and Will Ospreay and Kyle, the 2 best matches of the night.
That shit was horrible. The only reason that I liked it is because we got to do We Hurt People, and that shit was tight. Like doing the entrance, I was like, you know what? I don't care what happened in this match.
I'm sorry.
That was fun.
By the way, correction. It was between Okada, Brody, and Toni Storm and Mariah. Correction.
That shit was not needed here. That was a collision opening match for sure on the real.
All right, we got one last match to get into. Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita, with Kenny Omega winning the AEW International Championship. That's huge because I'm thinking like, hey, we're going to get him and like freaking Okada. Like this has got to happen, this merger.
Collision course, Jay-Z and Linkin Park. This felt like Revolution has kind of been built off of some Takeshita matches, some Kenny Omega matches. Like these guys shine at this pay-per-view, and you could feel it from the entrance that they were going to do something epic, and they had like planned on having a great match. They apparently like paid tribute to some anime with, I don't know anything about anime, but their gear was based off some feud in some anime or something. They put a lot of thought into just like getting to the match. And then, like, it felt like Kenny Omega spent the whole match trying to prove to us that he's still that guy. And Takeshita spent this match trying to kill Kenny Omega.
The strikes in this match, that was my favorite.
He kept striking him in his stomach, dude. Yes. Oh, my God.
I forgot to mention, by the way, in the Kyle Will Ospreay match, when they did the you kick, I kick, you kick, I kick. Oh, I loved that moment, too.
Yeah, a lot of violence throughout this whole concept. But, yeah, this point where Takeshita kept tricking Kenny, and then he'd hit him in the midsection, and Kenny would go down, hitting him with that suplex on the damn table. I like that tease to us because they set the table up, and the crowd's like, yeah, everybody get a table. And then I was like, wait, what's happened? When Kenny threw the table, I'm like, why is Kenny doing that's a heel move? Like the crowd was mad. Like the crowd was like, oh no, Kenny, what are you doing? Don't throw that table down. And then Takeshita picks it back up, and they start cheering for him. Like, wait. The dynamics are changing very quickly, but the way that they improvised it and had Kenny get his diverticulitis challenged with that gourd buster. Amazing work. There were so many crazy strikes when Kenny locked in and started going for those V triggers and just like destroying Takeshita. But then Takeshita would counter and knock him out with some baseball-like strike. These guys were, it was another, like, there wasn't a bloody match, but there was violence. It was just like angry, like Kenny trying to prove that he's still one of the best. He's still one of the best. He can still do all this shit very hard. Takeshita saying, I don't give a fuck that you're Kenny Omega. I'll end your career right now. I thought that it was just another, like, this is what AEW is about type match.
Oh, man. Completely agree. Like I said, the strikes were my favorite in this. Kenny Omega proving that he is back and he's back in business. And it's crazy to think that, like, we saw this great match between Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita, and it's not even like in my top 3.
That's what's crazy about it.
That was the match that I had originally said should be the main
event. That shit. Like, there's a lot of people being like, oh, it's like my 4th favorite match. And this was like in a vacuum. You're like, that's one of the best matches I've ever seen. Like, that's how crazy it is. Like, that's how insane this show was. Like, that could have been the main event and we would have went home happy. Like, great to see Kenny Omega get the win. The first ever, I think they're saying, Grand Slam AEW champion. So great work. Of course, it would be him. And now this is a collision course to All In with Okada, and we're making money. A lot of it.
I love it. All right, let me catch up with the last super chats, guys, because we're about to round out the show. So if you got any last minute things you want to get in, this is now the chance. We got John Taylor here who says, has the Outrunners novelty run its course? Why you got to point at me for? I don't want to go next. I'm going to say yes.
Of course you're going to say yes.
Sorry.
After that last night, I was yes, because they could have been squashed.
You were out here talking shit about my yes.
They should have been squashed, dog. Like, they were doing, like, their bits are fine, but not for.
Are very fun. Like, I love the music video we just saw.
Great.
That was great. Yeah.
But for that show, Denise, we're watching the best wrestling of all time. It doesn't really have a place.
Well, especially the problem was that people went in with your expectations of expecting a squash.
They're gonna get dragged. Yeah, and they didn't.
And if that's not what you get, because here's the thing, like the Hurt Syndicate. We hurt people. We kind of want to see them just
want to see them hurt people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's in the name. Like we should be terrified of these guys.
Especially it's Sheldon and Bobby. Like they're gonna drag these guys. It's the Outrunners. They're a novelty tag team, and for them to like have a kind of spirited contest, it just didn't really fit.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but they'll be fine. Crazy 101 says, "Who does Kenny face on the way to All In? On the way." So before he gets to Okada, who does he still need to get to?
A million people.
Pick your poison. Jay White.
Jay White
along the way would be kind of cool.
Ricochet, I think, would be awesome along the way.
Oh yeah, Ricochet would be a good
could get back to Max. I always go back to him. There's so many.
What if they do something with Kyle Fletcher?
You know
how Kyle is trying to be better than Will Ospreay and trying to be like out of Will Ospreay's shadow. Maybe he wants to go and revisit some of Will's iconic opponents and be like, I can do it better.
I can do it better.
Oh, hey, yo.
We got it. That was it.
Let's go.
I thought it could be somebody else, but no, it's Kyle Fletcher. 100% off the back of that. Yep.
Crazy 101. Thank you so much. We got David Primero here who says prediction Kenny versus Takeshita unification match. It will now be Intercontinental title. LOL. Swerve versus Hangman for the world title at All In. And think in a perfect world, that would be very, very fun to see.
It's going to be Kenny and Okada in the unification match.
Yes, Kenny versus Okada in the unification match. Swerve versus Hangman for the world title at All In. I don't
that
think
shit
happening.
Needs to happen though. Like if in the perfect world, that's the match.
Right, that's what I said in a perfect world, but no, it's not happening. Kid Cudi here says, which is unfortunate because I feel like
we can still get there.
I would hope so, Reg.
Because Hangman's, like I keep saying, it's going to be so hot by the time we get to All In.
And if Hangman wins at All In, it would be an awesome moment.
Amazing.
But I don't know.
I honestly think he could also be the champion going into All In. Like that would be hot too.
Yeah. All right. We got Kid Cudi here who says matches hit, but I wish they were 10 moves shorter.
That's okay. I understand that. Sometimes the spirit of AEW and how they work is indie shit. Bam, 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 bam.
Fight forever, bro.
Yeah. That's the spirit of what this represents. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much, Kid Cudi. We got D. Laura here who says, thanks for a great morning show. Next AEW LA show needs them BJ's meet and greet and bring Phil. Have a great day, you two. Safe travels home, Reg. Facts.
What happened to the BJ's thing? That was supposed to be a thing.
I know.
Time.
There's no time. There's no time to do anything. I need an assistant.
Yeah.
And I can't afford an assistant.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's really sad, actually.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
D-Laro, thank you so much
Thanks,
for the
D-Lar.
love. All right, with that
Thanks
being said,
for being here.
I'm all caught up in the super chats. We've talked about the entire show.
Yep.
So we are pretty much all done, I guess.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
Guys, we nearly did a 2-hour post show on AEW Revolution, but there was just a lot to get into. So many moments. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. I know this is not our normal time slot. If you were a new viewer, thank you so much for giving us a try. We hope you enjoyed yourself. And we are live each and every single Wednesday. We do an AEW Dynamite watch along, followed by a review. So a lot of AEW content for sure. And before we go, of course, just make sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm trying to make it to 220K. So subscribe. Check out some of the previous videos that I've posted up on the channel. There's a lot of really good stuff out there. Reg, what do you got going on? And tomorrow's your birthday.
Happy birthday to me. I'm actually not headed all the way home, you guys, to Oakland. I'm actually going to head to Bakersfield, California to see my family for my birthday. So that's going to be part of my time. And I think I went on record last night as to say I probably won't be on the Wednesday broadcast.
You were sold. You were like, I'm going to Fresno.
Because I'm going to Fresno to watch this show. I had FOMO on Wednesday. That Sacramento show was heat. I'm like, if it's in Fresno and it's close, I'm going to go. So I probably won't be on the show on Wednesday because I'll be at the show.
Boo. How dare you go and have fun?
Well, maybe
Boo.
I can FaceTime in afterwards for the post show or something.
Boo.
All right, whatever.
Free for no pay, though.
I know, damn. I'm going to turn my phone on while I'm there and connect to the damn show.
I can't. All righty, guys. Well, there you have it. That was our AEW Revolution post show. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments in the comment section below so that the algorithm can show a little bit more love. Slap that like button. Thank you guys so much. And we'll catch you all on the next one. Oh, I'm live later tonight for Monday Night Raw. See you guys later. Bye.